The recording of this call will be available it's usually within like 24 to 48 hours, and they'll be posted in the team page. But hi, my name's Carly. I'm the CEO and founder of Team Root to Rise, and I co-host these calls with my badass girl, Cassie. She's gonna shout out a couple of her awesome coaches, and I'm gonna shout out a couple of my awesome coaches for leading the Success Club boards, aka helping people, aka coaching, aka literally the only thing we do as coaches, right? So that's basically your only focus as a coach, is to get onto these boards. So to start it off, Success Club for August, and people who have grown their teams since the beginning of the month. I'm at the top of Team Root to Rise leaderboard with Success Club 36 and 9 new coaches. Crystal Clander is at SC20 with 5 new coaches. Apples is killing it with SC12 and 6 new coaches. Victoria Phillips is at SC10 and 7 new coaches. And Leanna Swords is at SC10 and 5 new coaches. Way to freaking go. I'm just going to shout out those top coaches who are hitting Success Club 10 and above. You guys are freaking killing it. I'm going to hand it over to Cassie.
Okay, hi guys. Can everybody hear me? Cool. Hi guys. Oh my god, I love seeing your guys' faces. And I took a nap before this. I actually have energy. Hashtag pregnant life. Okay, so shouting out my girls for August. At the top we have me with SC28 and 7 coaches. And then Skylar, SC10 plus 2 coaches. I think this is only her 3rd month of coaching, and she's never gotten below SC10. She's a BA. Cassie Miller, SC6 plus 3 coaches. Katie Falconer, SC6 plus 1 new coach. Katie DeBoer, SC6 plus 2 new coaches. And then I know a lot of you guys on my team aren't updating the leaderboard, so we can't shout you out if you don't update it. So just make sure in Team Gratefully Fit, the file that says August Lives Change Club, you're just updating that when you have points or new coaches, because otherwise I can't recognize you guys. But for those of you who did update it, you're killing it.
Awesome. So Cassie and I have put together 2 different topics that we're going to talk about that obviously kind of like intermingle with each other, but Cassie's is going to be a lot more tactical. She's been reading this really good PD book that I'm sure she's going to dive more into. She's created some slides that she's going to talk to you guys about on realistically like the nitty-gritty on like what to say. I'm having conversations with clients or potential clients or customers. And then I'm going to dive into this more broad idea of like guiding principles that should lead your business. So I hope that you guys can take away like super specific things that you can, use in your business tonight in your reach outs, but also like, again, guiding principles that you can think about as you move forward this week and as you continue to kill out this month. They're just things that I think that are really important. So I want to highlight them. But yeah, Cassie's going to start off and then I'm going to end the call. And then of course we'll open it up for questions at the end as well. So if you have questions, we'll definitely leave time to answer them too. So go for it, Cass.
Yeah, just save your questions till the end, though. Otherwise, we lose them in the chat. So freaking pumped to talk to you guys because I am reading this really good book, and I made, let me see, I'm going to share my screen because you guys know I love slideshows. Can you guys see this? Sweet. Okay, so take notes. I would recommend, unless you're a fast writer, I type my notes. But either way, that's why I made the slideshow, because this is stuff that I want you guys to be able to use. So I personally actually have all of these phrases I'm going to share with you saved in my phone. That way, when I'm in a conversation, if I'm stuck, I just go to the notes section on my phone and it's like, boom, I have it and I can just use it because I have a terrible memory and I can't remember them all. So I'm reading this book, and I'm not going to teach every phrase he has in the book because I think he shows like 30 different phrases. I pulled just the best 8 or 9. But if you want to read more, this entire book took me 2 hours to listen to on Audible, and it is seriously so good. And I don't know if you guys are nerds like me, but just to share my story, my first year of coaching, guys, I was awful at conversations. I mean, seriously, hitting Success Club for me was like pulling teeth because whenever I had interest, I just word vomited on everybody. I didn't understand how, the sales process or how the process of like explaining a challenge group went. And because of that, I failed forward a lot, and I had to learn because I was so bad. And so because I was so bad, I did what Samantha talked about on the team call last Monday, which is I focused on my weakness. And my number one weakness was that I lost everybody because I just was so bad at conversations. So that's why if you're on my team, I heavily use and teach my girls the Challenger interview, which if you're brand new, that's something I can share with you guys later. But this kind of ties into that. Once I started using the Challenger interview and learning how to have conversations that flowed and were fun and shared my personality, the business became more fun. Hitting Success Club was less stressful and actually got to help people, which is all I ever wanted to do in the first place. So this is the book if you're looking for a really good read. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in, but I do have a couple pointers starting out. So these are supposed to be bulleted. Sorry, they're not. But authenticity and combo. So first and foremost, be yourself. These are key phrases you can use, but it's so important that you still sound like you. So if you make jokes a lot, make jokes in your conversations. If you have a sarcastic sense of humor, have that in your conversations. And this will help your conversations flow, and your customer will pick up on your authenticity and just like you being yourself. So still sound like yourself even if you use these things. Even if you use the Challenger interview, still sound like you. Don't just like copy paste. And then these things I'm going to teach you are proven to create better conversation and better conversion. But it's not about perfection. Like I said, I failed my way forward. I'm still learning all the time. I'm still always trying things and being like, YOLO, let's see how it goes. Like just trying different ways of asking about coaching or asking about challenge groups and just seeing how it goes. That's the only way to grow a business, is you have to be willing to fail forward. And if you're anything like me and you used to be a perfectionist, I would read the book Failing Forward, because that helps me a lot. So it's not about perfection. And this is about building influence. So one thing I've learned with coaching is the more influence you have, the more people you can help. So the other ways to build influence besides in your actual conversations is through good social media posts. This is why your social media should be treated like a business, like your storefront. So if your social media is a hot mess, even if you're sending 100 invites a day, they're not going to translate. People are going to be like really confused, and you're going to get a lot more no's. So if you treat your social media like a business, you're going to have influence. You're going to have way more social influence. Another one is results. If you don't have any results, start there with your transformation, and then eventually move on to getting challengers and your coaches' transformations. But initially, like, it has to start with you. You have to get some sort of transformation, even if it's a weight gain. Like Carly, I don't think she lost much weight, but she gained like some serious muscle. So it doesn't have to be a weight loss. And then the last one is posture and confidence. That's another way that you build influence. And I've done a whole call on posture. I think that was our last call, wasn't it, Carly? I think so. And I love talking about posture. I love teaching it because, again, it was my biggest weakness. And then confidence. So if you're having conversations and your energy is strong and you're very, very confident what you have to offer, that's going to translate in having influence over that person. And they're more likely to come to a decision that you help them come to that's beneficial for both parties. So a couple notes, and then this one is going to sound counterintuitive to what I'm going to teach you. But even though I'm giving you key phrases of exactly what to say, stop looking for the perfect thing to say. And I know that's like going against exactly what I'm teaching you guys, but you have to be willing to fail forward and try these phrases, putting that, I would keep them in their original phrase because that's why they work and that's why they're powerful. What are you getting? Love you. But still knowing that, like, you still need to sound like yourself and you still be willing to fail forward. So that's a big one. Probably. Just nothing with beef. Sorry, my husband's getting dinner and I can't eat red meat right now. It makes me puke. Okay. Sorry, guys. So side note, moving on. Okay, so here are the some key phrases you can use for better conversations. So write these down. Again, we'll have the recording if you can't write fast enough. So key phrase number 1. I'm not sure if this is for you, but. So if you're a seasoned coach, you've heard this one, but if you're a new coach, this is so powerful. And a lot of people are like, well, how do you ask to the coaching opportunity? I ask everybody pretty much the same exact way. Like, I don't change it. Pretty much every time I say, hey girl, this may, or actually I don't use hey girls usually. I say, hey Katie, this may or may not be for you, but have you ever thought about doing what I do as a coach? That's pretty much like every single person. And I put examples here. I'm not sure if this is for you, but I'm running a coaching info group this weekend where we're going to share more about what we do as coaches, what the pay structure is like, and answer any questions. Would you be open to joining? So by saying, I'm not sure if this is for you, but it keeps it casual and admits that it might not be for them. So then they kind of are more interested. It's kind of like reverse psychology. And then there's less pressure on the conversation, because if they say, no, I'm really not, no worries. Like, it's not a big deal. It is not a big deal. And something with each of these phrases I teach you, or just in general, guys, is you have to become detached to all outcomes, because if you're attached to every single yes, you're going to get so discouraged and you're going to give up so quickly. But if you focus on your purpose and the fact that you change lives and the vision for your dream, like for your future, you won't get as discouraged. So become detached from the outcome. It's like the quote that I love to tell my coaches: focus on activity, not results. So focus on the activity of inviting, the activity of building relationships, of reaching out, of following up. But don't focus on just results, because guys, my activity this month doesn't reflect where I'm at Success Club 28. Not that that's bad, but my activity is higher than that, so it could give me discouraged. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to move on to number 2. Open-minded. So this one's really good. So I used to ask people, would you be interested in learning more about what I do as a coach? And it's not that that's wrong, but one thing that I've learned from the greats, and I'm sure, again, if you've been around a while, you've heard this one, but a better way to phrase it is, would you be open-minded to learning more about coaching? Or would you be open-minded to earning extra income? How open-minded would you be to learning more about what I do? Are you open to learning more? And the reason that works better is because, yeah, they might be interested and they might not, but everybody wants to be considered open-minded or an open person versus like a closed person. So, sorry, I need water. So, oh my God, I ran out of breath so quick, and it like is so much worse when you're pregnant. Sorry guys. So just asking if they're open-minded whenever you're asking. So just replace the word interested with open-minded, basically. Am I going too fast, Carly? I know I talk fast. No? Okay, just checking. Okay, number 3. How would you feel if, oh my God, guys, this is so good. Okay, so something else I want to share is use these not only in your conversations, but your freaking call to actions. I used this the other day for the first time in my coaching career. I posted a help wanted post because, again, failing forward, I was like, YOLO, screw it, I'm going to post it. If nobody responds, I don't care anymore. Like, I genuinely don't care what people think of me. Now, would I have posted that a year ago? No. I was always so scared to post a help wanted post. But I did it, and I actually had people reach out to me that have never looked at my post before. I wouldn't recommend doing a help wanted post if you've been coaching less than a year, I would say, and Carly probably agrees, just because their first year of coaching, people don't come to you, especially in terms of the business, at least not for me. That wasn't my experience. Like, growing my business the first year was all about me inviting people. And so because I've been coaching 2.5 years and now I'm full time, I think the help wanted work better. But I could be wrong. By all means, like, try it. Worst thing that can happen, guys, is you post it and nobody says they want to join on your help wanted, and then you can delete it like a day later. It's not a big deal. It's not life or death. But I did try it, and I think the reason it worked is because in the actual call to action, I said, how would you feel if your life was exactly the same in a year from now as it is right now? And that's a powerful thing to make people visualize, because I bet you 99.9% of people, if they think of their life a year from now being exactly the way it is now, they don't like it and they want something different. And that was impactful. So almost every person who reached out in that call to action was somebody I've never even talked to. And I signed 2 coaches. So that was pretty cool. So the reason this works is because people make decisions based on emotion and how they feel, and they go with their gut or what feels right. So when I first started coaching, I was all about giving facts, figures, details, like information, like these are all the things we do in our challenge group, and this is all the benefits of the program and all the facts about it. And that doesn't really work. People don't really care that much. They just want to have emotion behind it. So they want to know what it's going to do for them. How are they going to see their life change? How are they going to feel different? So if you can make them feel differently or feel excited or feel like positive about their future, they're more likely to actually be open-minded to what you have to offer. So, and again, some examples. How would you feel if this time next year you were your own boss? How would you feel if you turned this around and committed to your fitness journey? That one's huge. Like, if I was talking to a challenger, guys, I ask every challenger to tell me what they could imagine their life being if they changed. So I'll say, how do I word it? I say something like, I want you to tell me what it would be like. What would your life be like? What would you look like? How would you feel? How would you live differently if you had met your health and fitness goals? And the answers I get are like deeply emotional, but that's super important, because until they make that emotional connection, they aren't really bought in. And then another example, how would you feel if you could earn an extra $1,000 a month and be completely debt-free? How would you feel if this time next year you were in the same exact spot? So you can use these, again, not just in your conversations, but that's like a great thing to post on a coaching call to action. Okay, number 4. Just imagine, again, this is a very, very similar thing and great for call to actions or when interviewing a challenger or talking to coaches or in a coach sneak peek, like actually in your live video saying some of these words is super powerful. So you could say, just imagine getting to be your own boss. Just imagine what it would be like to really stick to your fitness journey. Just imagine having extra income every month. So maybe, again, I put that here, maybe a good thing to use in a sneak peek or a challenger interview because people need to imagine more for themselves, and that's the beauty of coaching. I think that's one of my favorite things about coaching is we get the ability to dream. Before coaching, I didn't have dreams. Carly's probably the same way. Like, we just thought that this was life. Like, you basically live paycheck to paycheck. You do what you just were told you were going to do, which for me was be a speech therapist, and I never had a dream beyond that, ever. Until I found coaching. So if we can show them that this can help them dream for maybe their fitness or financial, whatever it is, then that's huge. And there's not many things in life where you get the opportunity to do that for people. Number 5, am I going too fast? I'm sorry, guys. I don't want everybody to be up all night. So number 5, when would be a good time to? This one is really, really important, especially if you are having people invited to the coaching opportunity and let's say they're in a sneak peek or you send them a video explaining what coaching is, however you go about it. This assumes they will have time, and it also is a professional way for you to set up a time to follow up, and then they're more committed to actually watch the video. Because how many times have you sent, your opportunity video to somebody or had a coach sneak peek and they freaking ghosted or they never respond? So I do the same thing with challengers. If they say, oh, I can't pay, maybe next week. Okay, great. When would be a good time for me to follow up so that we can get you started? Like, I set follow-up times with everybody and I put it in my planner and I freaking follow up. And sometimes when I follow up, I'll even say like, hey girl, just didn't want you to think I forgot about you, following up like I promised. Are you ready to get started? Or let's get you started. Like, I just assume they're ready and we go. Yeah, and so I set a specific time. So you could even be like, when would be a good time to get started? I can do this evening or tomorrow morning. Like, if they're kind of not sure they can do it right this second. Number 6. This one I love because I actually use this week. So if you have somebody that's been in your coaching sneak peek, is typically when I found that I'm using this one. And they keep saying they didn't watch the video, or they've even told you one time, even more than one time, like it's just, you can tell they're not committed. So if I message them and they say, oh, I haven't gotten to it yet, the next time I follow up, I'm going to assume they haven't gotten to it yet because they probably haven't, right? It's not a priority for them. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that they're not interested. Just means they're not interested right now, most likely. So this is for the person you know is going to give you an excuse. So you beat them to the punch, and it kind of makes the excuse before they can. And then you set up a time to follow up again. But what this does is it gives you posture and you control over the conversation. And that's what you want. You always want to be in control of the conversations, not in like a control freak kind of way. Just like that gives you posture and helps you take the conversation where you want it to go. So this girl, she told me, oh, I haven't had time, my family in town. So I messaged her again, maybe 2 or 3 days later. And I said, hey girl, I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to actually watching the video yet. No worries. I don't think now is the best time for you. Would it be okay if I follow up with you next month? And she was like, oh my God, she literally was like, oh my God, thank you. I have family in town. This month is crazy. Because she reached out to me to be in my sneak peek. So I don't know if that it's necessarily that she wasn't interested. Maybe she got scared. Maybe she got intimidated. People self-sabotage all the time. Maybe she was busy with her family. You have no idea of knowing, so don't take it personally. But just let her know, I'm guessing you have got around to watching the video. Do you care if I follow up with you next month? Somebody's messaging me. It better not be somebody who's supposed to be on the team call. I'm just kidding. Okay. I think there's only 2 more, guys. Y'all are hanging in there. Number 7, the way I see it, you have 3 options. Oh my God, I love this one. So this is for the person. I would probably use this at the end of inviting someone to my challenge group and they're getting cold feet, or inviting to coaching and they're getting cold feet. So you lay out 3 options for them, black and white, and you put the option you want them to pick as the very 3rd one. So for example, as I see it, you have 3 options. You can stay in a job you hate, try to find a new one similar to what you're doing with likely the same pay, or take a leap of faith and try coaching. Because how many people are at that point where they're like, oh, I really want to try coaching, but I just don't know. I don't know if I'm ready. And they talk themselves out of it. And it's like legit, you have 3 options, like, and you just lay it out for them. And so sometimes that could work. Like, I know somebody said that to me, I'd be like, damn, dude, they're right. I'm either going to stay here or stay in a similar spot, or I could just give it a try. Same thing for a challenger, you know, if they're kind of like cold feet at the last second, you know, you could say, as the way I see it, you have 3 options. You can either stay where you're at and be really unhappy in your skin. You can try another quick fix, but you've tried how many before and they didn't work. Or you could take a leap of faith and try our boot camps. However you want to word it so that it sounds like you, but it kind of just lays 3 options out for them. And then number 8, just 2 more. Sorry, there were so many good ones. I wanted to share them all. But number 8, there are 2 types of people. So this is something that you could say after a coach sneak peek, again, if they're giving you a lot of objections, or, ooh, I have something to tell you about objections, though. I heard this today from Grant Cardone, and I was like, what? He was basically saying objections are just complaints, and until you validate them, they're just complaints. So he was like, I don't actually even acknowledge an objection until they've said it 3 times. I just consider it a complaint. So when people are giving you these objections over and over, it's not no. So you have to talk them through and over the objections versus being how I always was and just be like, oh girl, no worries. Like, I would always back down from an objection, probably until 2 months ago, to where I'm now. I'm like battling those objections, and I'm just looking at them as like just a complaint. Like, they're just complaining. It's okay. We all complain. So if they say, oh, the price is too high, it's just a complaint. It's not a legitimate objection. So I'm moving through those. But anyway, if they have an objection, this is a good one to use then. So you could say something like, either in your coach sneak peek live maybe, or afterwards, or maybe on a social media post about there are 2 types of people. Because whenever you say there's 2 types of people, what is the first thing you think? You think, oh shit, which one am I? And you want to be the positive one. You don't want to be the negative. So there are 2 types of people in this world: those who leave their financial success in the hands of their employer, and those who take full responsibility and build their own future. Guys, that's a dope-ass thing to say in a coach sneak peek group, because they don't want to be the first person. I don't want to be the first person, or to use on a social media post or something like that, or even if you're having a conversation. Another one, there are 2 types of people in this world: those who judge something before they've even tried it, and those who are willing to try something base their opinion on their own experience. I love that one, because how many people are like, oh, you know, I don't know, my friend tried it, didn't like it. You know, like, that's just, to me, like, drives me crazy, because I'm like, this is the most amazing thing that I've ever done. So why don't you try it for yourself instead of just like relying on your friend? But this is like a nicer way of saying it than that. And then the very last one that I have for you guys is, if I would you. So another thing that I think I struggled with, and I know a lot of people struggle with, is if somebody said, yeah, I'm interested in learning more about coaching. Awesome. I'm going to send you a video that explains more about it, and I'll let me know if you're interested. Or, you know, or you could even say, I'll check back Monday. What would be better to kind of make them actually commit to watching the video is not sending them jack crap, trying to curse less before motherhood, and just saying, if I were to send you a video that explains what I do, would you be able to give it a watch? Or would you be able to give it a listen? Or would you be able to set some time out to check it out? And if they say yes, then you kind of set up a good time to follow up, probably before you even send the link. So I would say something like, awesome, when would be a good time for me to follow up with you? Sunday evening or Monday afternoon? So, and then at which point they can tell you, and you can send them the video, or, you know, maybe you've already added them to the group. But again, they have that, at least they have some sort of verbal commitment of, if I were to do this, would you be able to do that? You know, and so they're more likely, because people don't like letting other people down, they're more likely to actually watch whatever it was you told them you wanted them to watch. So that was my last one. Hopefully I didn't go too fast or too slow, but if you guys have questions on my section, maybe do that now, because Carly's is a little different. We're shifting to leadership. So if you guys do have questions now, that's fine. Or we can, I don't know, do you want to wait till then, Carly? I don't care either way.
Damn, I got nothing now. I don't think you guys even need to hear her speak.
No, yours is going to be good. I'm excited.
Oh, crap. No, it's awesome. Anybody have any questions before I start? Any ways like Cassie's use these like tactically, or like in her DMs, or
sliding into the DMs?
Not into my DMs. Okay, you guys can think of stuff while I'm sharing mine. And then at the end, we can open it up as well, so you can start thinking about stuff. But seriously, whoa, I have like so many new things that I'm going to add in my call to action now. Let's see, hold on one sec. I got to bring up my notes. So shifting a little bit for, again, like we said, kind of like these guiding principles. Leanna, you've already heard this, and Taylor, if you're on this call, you've already heard this, because my coach, Leanna, hosted an Emerald retreat, was it last weekend? And she asked me to speak on their call, and I was like, okay, what can I share that's like overarching principles that can apply to, you know, an amazing leader like Leanna, and then, you know, a newer coach like Taylor who's just starting to learn everything. And I think these guiding principles are just a really good thing to keep kind of like at the forefront as like kind of like core values and like reminders for you. And again, it can apply to a brand new coach, and it can apply to any of you guys who have been in this business, two to three. What's called is the 5 Ps. So maybe turn to a new page of notes, because it's a little bit different than like those tactical reach outs or like words that you'll use. But it's 5 Ps, and I'm going to go over them, and then we can ask questions again. So the first one that I want you guys to talk about or to think about is giving yourself permission to step outside your upline shadow. So what do I even mean like that? So a lot of the times, you know, I'll onboard new coaches, and they'll look at me as this like, you know, really experienced coach that knows exactly what they're doing. And you automatically kind of put yourself, maybe if you're a newer coach, in this box of like, you know, I'm new, I don't really know, you know, much about coaching, which, okay, yeah, sure, it can be true. But there's this automatic assumption of us to kind of, you know, categorize ourselves as like, oh, I'm only this kind of coach, or oh, I'm only this kind of coach. And I really want you guys, and this is something that, you know, a lot of people don't do, give yourself permission to step outside your upline shadow. You know, if something isn't working for you and it does work for your upline coach, like you need to maybe do something different and have the goal and the vision to be able to do bigger and better things and dream bigger. It doesn't matter who your coach is. You need to decide what you want out of your life. And if your own upline coach isn't a full-time coach, or that's not something that she wants, that doesn't mean that it can't be something that you want. If your upline coach is a full-time coach and maybe that's not something you want, it doesn't have to be like your same goal to be, you know, a full-time coach, but you need to give yourself permission to step outside of your upline shadow and automatically assume that she's always going to be, you know, at the top of the Success Club leaderboards. She's always going to recruit more coaches than you. She's always going to have a better challenge group than you. She's always going to have a better Instagram than you. Guys, when I started, my mentality was, I looked at Jamie and I said, yeah, she has 15,000 followers and I have 600. But I firmly believe that I can not only work just as hard as Jamie is, but I can work harder than her, and I can do this better than her. That was my mentality. I looked at Jamie and I was like, I'm going to be better than her. I'm going to do more things. I'm going to work harder than her. And it's not anything against Jamie. That was just my mentality of like, I'm not only going to try to like get to Jamie's level and like rank advance to Jamie's level. I want to beat Jamie. Like I want to be better than Jamie. And that's the best mentality you have, you guys. If you're always trying to go one step behind your upline coach and you're like, oh, well, she's a diamond coach, so like maybe I can get to emerald. Like if your coach is a diamond coach, like your goal should be like, I want to be 2-star. Like I want to be like a higher rank than your coach. And that's not a bad thing to do, right? This business is so awesome because my success is directly reflective of your guys' success. So I want you guys to be successful, just as successful as me and way more successful than me. And it's 100% possible, just like Cassie was saying, like it took her a year to really figure out if she really wanted this. And if you were one of Cassie's PS coaches at that point, if you waited to decide that you wanted to do this when Cassie was going to do this, your steps would reflect Cassie's instead of reflecting your own vision on what you wanted for your life. So whether you signed up yesterday or you signed up 2 years ago, like give yourself permission to step outside of whatever box your upline coach vision of coaching is and be able to level up to whatever your dreams are for this business. And that's the coolest part about coaching is you can decide. You can decide what kind of life you want to live. You can decide how much money you want to make. You can decide what rank that you want to get to, but you have to give yourself permission to step outside of your upline shadow and be like, well, I'm just going to host a challenge group with her. Well, I'm just going to host a coach sneak peek when she hosts one. Well, I'm just going to post on Instagram like half as much as she does because like I'm just like not as good as she is. Like, no, you should be like, I'm going to post 5 times as much as she is, and I'm going to have twice as many followers as she is, because that should always be your mentality, right? You need to give yourself permission to work harder and above. So the first one is permission. which when I heard that, I was like, whoa, that's kind of weird, but okay. And I talked to like a lot of my business builder coaches. I'm like, I want to beat Jamie in rank. Jamie just hit 10-star like 2 weeks ago, and we're pushing to hit 10-star by next Thursday, because that's always my goal. I want to be right neck and neck with Jamie or in front of Jamie. Like, and that's a really, really good, healthy relationship to have. And Jamie and I have that passion and like that kind of permission to like work with each other and like compete with each other like that. Okay. Number 2 is passion. Passion means to help push you to your own potential. You need to have passion for this business and excitement for this business every single day. It was really funny today. Like, I got through all my emails, I got through like checking in on my challenge groups, all this stuff. And like, I didn't really know what to do with myself. Like, I wanted to coach more because I am so passionate about what we do and what we get to do on the daily in my job as a coach that like I never not look forward to Mondays. I'm pretty sad usually when it's Fridays, because Saturdays I let myself not look at my emails. It's the one day of the week where I try to not look at them. But my passion for coaching is like through the roof, and I freaking love this. Like, I've been coaching for 2.5 years and I love sitting down for team calls. I love talking to you guys. I love helping people. I love seeing people transform their lives. So if you don't feel that type of passion with coaching, you need to figure out why, and you need to figure out like how you can get to that place where like you are so excited about it. And then once you have that passion, it's going to be a lot easier for you to train your own coaches and share that passion with them. So along with passion, your coaches really need to be able to hear from you and your passion in this business. So whether you have 2 PS coaches or you have 20 PS coaches, you need to be sharing trainings with your coaches. You need to be leading coach sneak peeks on your own, not with other people or not with me. You need to be sharing your energy with the prospects that you have, because you want them to choose you, right? There's 300,000 or 400,000 Beachbody coaches out there, and you need to level up and share your passion for this business. So people want you to be their coach and they want to choose you. Okay. So then if people have chosen you, you need to make sure that you're sharing your passion for this business. You can't just lean on the team calls that we're sharing. You need to be hosting your own team calls, right? You can't just lean and hope that somebody else posts about the National Wake Up Call. Like, you need to be posting about the National Wake Up Call to your coaches and making sure that they get on. For team calls like this, tagging them in the comments below. Don't wait for me to post about it. Be like, hey guys, like, you know, I know there's going to be a call on Sunday. Who's going to get on there? So instead of waiting, you need to be passionate about it and, you know, really lead from the front with everything. So permission, number 1. Number 2, passion. The third one is perseverance. So, you know, as Cassie said, with failing forward for the first year of coaching, and, you know, as I've said, there have been super up and downs. I know, like, Kevin became a diamond coach on Thursday, and I wrote in his diamond congratulations. Like, there have been times where I've wanted to chuck my computer out the window and never go on Instagram ever again. There have been times where I have never wanted to log into my emails ever again and read freaking 500 excuses on why people can't pay $170 to change their freaking life. You know, like, there have been so many times where it's hard. Like, this business is so hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, but it's also the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my entire life. It's giving me freedom that I never even used to dream about. It's given me a goal and like financial freedom that I never even knew that I could like create or have. But you're gonna have to have that perseverance and that vision long-term for your team. And I need you guys to make sure that you're understanding that like this business and like to be a successful coach, like you're gonna have to commit to at least 2 years of consistent hard work. You know, just like building any other business, you're not gonna open the doors to a yoga studio and have 100 people flooding in. You're gonna have to figure out how to market yourself. You're gonna have to figure out, you know, a business plan. You're gonna have to figure out how to onboard clients or you know, relate to your customers or talk with your customers like we just learned with Cassie. This is a business just like anything else. And you can be profitable a lot sooner than, you know, opening like a store or, you know, a restaurant or something like that. But it still takes really consistent, hard work. So be reasonable with your expectations and know that it's going to take perseverance. And then like Cassie was saying, like everyone fails in this business. The only reason Cassie and I are where we are, and I know like my 2 other success partners besides Cassie, they both quit. I know Cassie had multiple success partners since me, and they both quit and left coaching. The only people who are going to find success in this business are the ones who are willing to persevere through the shit and knowing that everyone fails and you're just going to have to continue to move forward. And that's totally natural, right? That's a part of entrepreneurship. We're here as entrepreneurs. So the third one is perseverance. The fourth one which is a fun one. It's personalities. So if you guys don't know the personalities of your coaches or how your coaches kind of respond, same thing with like clients, right? You know, some clients want you to be one-on-one with them, checking in with them via Facebook Messenger, email every single week. Other clients, you know, they get a challenge pack, they freaking like kill it, and 21 days later, they have the best transformation of their life, and you haven't even talked to them. And you're like, what? Where did you even go? But you know, people have different learning styles. So it's really important for you to understand the personalities of your coaches and how they're going to learn best, and also how they're going to progress as coaches best. I had a learning moment with this with a couple coaches that, you know, I've been helping push to diamond. And you know, I've had coaches that I've put into success pods, like Facebook message pods, where there's a whole bunch of coaches in there pushing to emerald or pushing to diamond, and I never hear from them. And I don't really know where they're going, but I know that they're really close to diamond, and, you know, they're not really pushing. I wonder if she's on this call and she knows what I'm talking about. And then I reached out to her like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, hey girl, like, I need you. Like, I want to hit this goal, and I need you to be with me on this team, and I need you to hit that goal alongside me, because this is freaking huge. She came out of the water when I started giving her one-on-one attention, and really like just speaking to her about the goals and asking her personally what she needed from me. And so to see that even last week was a really good reminder to, like, you know, if you're grouping your coaches or you're talking to your coaches on a team page, you're talking to coaches on team calls, and you don't really hear from those people, maybe that doesn't mean that they're not interested in coaching. Maybe their learning style is just different. You know, maybe they need one-on-one conversations. Maybe they need you to more explain your goals and how they're going to help you and this team as a whole. And they might just, their personality might be more one-on-one instead of in this group like pressured place. And then obviously, with that personalities, there's a really good book called Personalities Plus. Jamie and Steve recommend it in the legendary leadership groups that they host every month. So I would definitely recommend reading that book, Personalities Plus. And then the other one, which has been Kev and I's like joke this past week, I don't know why, is the 5 love languages test. Angie knows what I'm talking about if she's on this call, but Kev is physical touch. That's his love language. He loves hugs and holding hands. And my love language is acts of service, which sounds lame, but that's my love language. I love it. Acts of service is definitely, you know, something that makes me feel loved. And it's something that works well for me. So there's all these different love languages. And when you learn those about your coaches and you invest time in really understanding how your coaches learn, and, you know, when your coaches can really start to like work for you or work with you with this vision, it's going to be a whole bunch of different ways. So make sure that you know their love languages. And the same thing goes with like recognition, right? Some coaches love to be shouted out from the rooftops. Some coaches love, you know, monetary gifts or like success club, like prizes. Other coaches love push groups. Some coaches don't like push groups. And so if you learn about your coaches in that way, you'll be able to much more easily work with them and help them work towards their goals and their vision for their business, but just understanding their personalities and then how they respond to you. So that's the 4th one, personalities. And then the 5th one, a little bit more just like broad, but always just remembering that like people come first in this business. I'm sure that we all joined coaching because we fell in love with, you know, a challenge group and seeing these people being like working together and hitting their goals and empowering each other in this place where women can really, you know, come together and unite. So I would encourage you guys to do this little action item that I do. So I had a pile of sticky notes. I actually did this probably over a year ago, but I went into one of my recent challenge groups and I just started writing down little phrases that my challengers said that were positive affirmations that they felt about themselves or that they felt about this group, or kind of like, you know, how they were feeling about their transformation in their body. You know, and some of them were like, I'm so sore, or some of them are like, I'm so confident in myself, or, you know, I love the way I look I love the way I look when I look in the mirror, or, you know, I wake up feeling genuinely happy. You know, there's all these different post-it notes that I have from previous clients about just things that they've experienced in these groups that I've created, and I've had a role in them feeling that way. It really feeds me, and I promise that it'll really feed you guys too and keep you rooted in like that why and why we're here, because, you know, those conversations are great and reaching out to 100 people is awesome, but if you're not firmly rooted in like, okay, why are we here? You know, what do we do as coaches? Is like, we want to show people that like fitness can be fun, fitness can be simple, and everybody should have the ability to drastically change their lives in a positive direction. And for me, you know, having those sticky notes up, and it's up on my wall in the area where my desk is at my house, but just looking at those post-it notes as a reminder to be like, okay, maybe I don't want to read all my emails right now, or maybe I don't want to do 100 reach outs. Like, reading those words on like what these clients have experienced and the fact that I've had a play in like how they're feeling, and that they're feeling happier, they're feeling healthier, they're feeling more confident, more empowered. That always sets my soul back on fire for what we do. And it reminds me that what we do is so important. And then I can get back to, you know, the nitty gritty, the reach outs, the posting, all the vital behaviors that we do as coaches every day. So the last one is just people first, and why ultimately are we really here as coaches. So again, the 5 P's: permission, passion, perseverance, personalities, and people first. Those are my 5. And if you guys have questions, you can post them in the chat, and then maybe depending on who's asking it or who you want to answer it, can you just say like Cassie this or Carly this, and then we can just kind of answer them.
Yeah, I'm reading that personality plus book. Am I echoing back on you?
Oh yeah, I think it's because I'm on go.
Oh.
Does anybody have any questions?
This might be the quietest it's ever been. We normally have like a billion questions. We must be great communicators.
Glad you liked it, Megan. Wait, ask some questions. I don't want to leave yet.
At least one, guys. Come on. Ask me like what color I like.
Or it doesn't have to be even related to the call. It can be like a social media question or a Lift 4 question or...
Good question. Thanks, Leanne. I am 15 weeks tomorrow or Tuesday. So, but I do have to go buy new pants already, which is surprising. And I don't know the sex yet. I won't know the sex for 5 more weeks. But I'm like 99.99% it's a girl. So another girl for TGF. Woo! Thanks, Holly.
How many of you guys are still sore from leg day on Friday?
Dude.
Like, I am like embarrassed about how much I'm struggling.
So bad.
It's literally so bad. What books were you recommending when talking about personality? So Personalities Plus is the book. And then the 5 love languages is actually a test. So if you want to go on Google, I think it's a book as well, the 5 love languages. But if you go on Google, you can just Google like the little test, and it'll like kind of go through like a questionnaire, and then it'll tell you what your top 2 love languages are. I think something like that. Yeah.
Oh, also, I have a gemstone test that I have in my team page, and I'm obsessed with the gemstone test. You can ask all my coaches. Because for me, not knowing personalities, my first, I would say 2 years of coaching, like really set me back, guys. Like if I had just done the gemstone test, which is so simple, I can share it with Carly if you guys are like, what is she talking about? But there's only 4 gemstones. So you're either a pearl, a ruby, an emerald, or a sapphire. And if I had just asked my girls what they were, oh my God, it would have saved me so much time, because I literally was treating like pearls, which are opposite of me, like they were rubies, which is me. And it created a lot of tension, honestly, between me and some of my personally sponsored coaches, because I was not leading them in a way that they liked, and I didn't know it. And it was like, it's definitely a learning curve. So now every new coach, I tag them in that little picture and I say, what's your gemstone? That way I know exactly starting out, like what's their love language? Like, how should I treat them? Because a pearl is somebody who like is more emotional and wants a thoughtful gift and something personalized. And a pearl wants to know that they're impacting the world, versus a ruby, which is what I'm not, Carly's a ruby too. We want to know that we're going to freaking be on a leaderboard, that we have competition, that we get to get paid. Like we want to have that kind of like, competitive side to us. So yeah, I can share the picture. My team already has it and they probably all use it, but I'll share it in Team Root to Rise. Yeah. And it's so easy. So on the picture, it literally explains the 4 types, and you pick a primary and a secondary. So my primary is ruby, secondary is sapphire. So when you read it, you'll be like, oh, this is really simple. And that's why I love it. It's so simple. I didn't have to read a book, although I do read a lot of books on personality tests, or take, a 60-minute quiz. It's just like a really quick way. And from what I found, it's incredibly accurate. Holly said, I'm going to be posting my first announcement post on Instagram tomorrow about starting as a Beachbody coach. What's the best way to approach that? I would say just be authentically yourself and just say why you started coaching. Like that's all I did. Carly, I guess that's not super helpful. I don't have anything deep to say.
So mine was a transformation photo after me doing the 21-day fix for 42 days straight. And I had an amazing transformation. I would literally have abs for the first time in my life. And I literally was just like, it's really unlike me to like post something like this, but I'm super proud of myself. And basically this is what happened. And then I did my journey about like how I was really skeptical, and my mom and I laughed at the 21 Day Fix videos. And then we got really good results, and then we stopped laughing because we were like, oh shit, this works. And then at the end I was like, and if anybody wants to join me, like, you know, message me. And like, guys, you got to just keep it really authentic and share your journey. If you're going to show up and act like a professional with like, you know, a really edited photo of you being like a fitness coach, people are going to see right through your bullshit. So like, just do a program, get amazing results, and then share that. Like, you need like results. I would say a transformation photo.
So I actually came out as a coach like the week I signed up, and I had no transformation. So mine was just like a cool picture of me hiking. And I just said that I was starting it, because for me, I shared my journey like literally from day one. So that's fine too. And then I just made sure to get results in 21 days, which was 14 days from that post, and just share those. Do you ever send the 5 love language or something similar to your challengers? How do you learn their personalities through weekly check-ins? Megan, I don't send anything like that to my challengers. Sometimes in my challenge groups, I do post the gemstone test just because people think it's really fun, but I don't learn the personality of my challengers. Really, it's just my coaches, because your challengers, it's not as big of a deal. Like, Carly, are you learning them for your challengers? Like, it's not as necessary. You can.
No, I just said like the challenger, like, concept, because you know how like some clients like need you to hold their hand, and then some clients like don't talk to you at all and get amazing results, and you're like, oh, these people, why are you so different? And it's because their love languages, because of their personalities and just the way that they work.
Yeah, so we're not like learning it, but it's that way you don't take it personally. Like when they like, because I have coaches, so I'm like, why don't they talk to me every day? I just want to talk to them. And it's like, that's a personality, so I need to stop taking it personally. So once you learn and read the books, it helps you kind of do that. But I don't send it to them or anything.
Okay, Julie said, I struggle with inviting and coaching. I'm writing the fine line between being annoying, pushy, and wanting to come off as inspiring. So I would say the most important thing that you need to do is just share like what you do as a coach. Because I think a lot of the times, like when we ask people like, oh, like, have you ever considered doing what I do? If you don't share what you do as a coach, if you don't share that like you're working out every day and like helping your clients get amazing results, it is going to feel salesy. Because people are going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you know, so it's really important to just like make sure that you're sharing like the ins and outs of your challenge group, client transformations, your transformation, your workouts daily. When in reality, like, especially like as a new coach, you know, I didn't really spend a lot of time like getting coaches to coach alongside me. I really focused on just like helping clients get started. And I did that by like helping myself get started, get an amazing transformation, and then say, hey, I'm looking to help 5 other girls get a bomb ass transformation. Like, who wants to join me? So like keeping it kind of like at more just like on the service, like helping the clients, you know, first couple months. But yeah, and then if it ever feels salesy, yeah, I would just like kind of take a step back, read over your DMs. Like, is this something that you're actually like passionate about? Like, where is the conversation going where you feel like it's not authentic? And if you don't feel like it's authentic to ask them about coaching, don't ask them about coaching. Talk to them about something else that like relates to them or relates to you guys, like similarly. Let's see.
Ooh, there's something called an Enneagram, which is apparently an amazing personality test.
Ooh.
I want to do it.
Sarah Carr, can you send that to me? That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Can you just like post it in Team Rouge Res?
Erin said, I love that you said permission. Even though it's not permission to surpass my upline, I need to give myself some slack because I sometimes forget to give myself permission to show my true quirky personality and go outside the box I'm normally in. Yeah, permission, that one, when I heard, you know, someone say, give yourself permission, I was like, whoa, like that's so empowering. And don't put yourself in that box. I hear so often coaches are like, oh my gosh, like Amy Silverman, like she's so amazing. Like, yeah, she's freaking amazing, but she started just like exactly where we are. Like, I have no doubt, or like I have more than like, I am fully intended on like blowing Amy Silverman out of the water. Like, I am fully like planning on making more money than her, being a higher rank than her, being more successful than her. And like, that's okay to say. And like, all of you guys should have that vision for yourselves. And if you're not giving yourself permission to be the next Amy Rada or Jamie Innes, like, you guys are selling yourselves so short and you will never get there because you're not even giving yourselves permission to do it. You're not giving yourself enough belief that like you could totally do that. They just have more years and experience on you guys. That's like literally the only thing.
Savannah said, when you were still in the beginning stages of creating your team, what kind of videos did you post in your team page? Since a lot of my coaches are discount coaches, I want to get them more interested in the coaching side of things without blabbing about info, training, videos to get them stoked. So first things first, always be recruiting. always, because everybody's diamond is built on discount coaches, like everybody's, and that's okay. But the only way to find those business builders, a lot of times they're not going to come from your initial diamond. Like most of my initial diamond guys, and I'm sure for Carly's isn't around anymore. I might have one or two that are still actually coaching. And that's okay, but it's just knowing that mindset of like, just keep adding coaches to your team, because those business builders you'll find over time as you keep adding coaches and new blood. But also the kinds of things I posted were things that would inspire them to want to do what I do. So instead of posting like tough love or like a super long training video, it would be like a transformation, or maybe, you know, talking about something that I was able to pay for. Or something I love to do is my coach Jamie, so in Team Fight to Finish, she'll often post when somebody retires from coaching. Every time I see somebody retire from coaching, even if they're my upline, I post it in the team page and I'm like, whoa, another one retired, because how inspiring that is that for like even your discount coaches to kind of see. And then also lately I've been doing like team Q&A calls with my coaches. And so I just let them know that they can always hop on, even if they don't even know if they want to do this. Like, feel free to hop on and we can just hang out. And that's kind of like a way to build that relationship. Let's see.
And I would just say, like, don't reinvent the wheel. Like, the things that I share, like, in my PS page, I share them in a PS page outside of my team page for a reason, so that you guys can grab that stuff and then post them in your own team page. Like, that's the exact reason I have, like, that, like, separation. So you guys can just take that stuff and put it in there. You know, if you don't have coaches that are interested in working the business, like Cassie said, it's like, you just need to recruit more.
Yeah.
How do you guys record your workout videos for Instagram story? You just do the hands-free option. Yep. So if you go to your Instagram stories, you swipe over, and then you go to the bottom, and then you swipe to the right. There's a hands-free one. So if you press and hold the record, it'll start a 3-second countdown. And that's how I like get back in my little position and then keep going. Yeah. How do you keep from getting overwhelmed by messages to respond to when you send out more invites daily? Something that really helped me when I was reaching out to like a crap ton of people, I would have like invite days and then respond days. So, you know, Mondays would be like, you know, I'd send out 50 invites. And then Tuesdays, I wouldn't send out any invites. And Tuesdays would just be my responding days. So Tuesday, I would spend just responding to all those people that I invited on Monday. So, but then you have to really practice self-discipline, because, you know, on Monday, you have to be like, okay, I'm only going to do reach outs. Even if somebody responds to me, not responding until Tuesday. And then Wednesday, you can do invites. Thursday can be respond day. Friday can be invites. And then there you go. There's 150 people a week.
I think that was the last one. And Sarah posted the link to the personality test. Sweet. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yay. Happy